Greetings one and all, this is Rhythm Works and welcome to my channel with some Destiny weekly heroic strike action on the Chamber of Night map, and it is the Awakening mission. Now I want to give you a little bit of a backstory before I go any further. I was in the tower trying to recruit some players to join me to complete this mission, and it can be hit and miss. Sometimes, you know, you can meet up with a lot of weekly Nightfall Strike completed players, so you know, for them to actually do a weekly heroic, chances are they've already done it. So with that, I decided to actually go and proceed with the mission, looking for people there. And more times than not, yeah, you will find 2 players spawning or 3 players spawning, but sometimes you will find 1 solo player spawned in the map in the mission. Best thing to do, link him up, send him a fire team request. There's no harm in asking. You don't ask, you don't get. That's my thing. And that's what I've done. And I've got to big up Violent Shooter 01, who is now my PSN friend. He's a freaking beast. I've got to say, he's a beast, even though he's a low-level player. Well, I say low-level player, but he's in his mid-20s, I think 26 or 27, something like that. But anyway, I could be mistaken, but he's a beast. But you can instinctively tell when people play, you know, how good they are, and he's definitely good. So anyway, Violent Shooter 01, large up, son. And while we was actually doing the mission, I linked up with one of my PSN friends, General Maddock, to help me with the mission. And this mission is his least favorite, I've got to say. This strike is his least favorite. Even though he knows exactly what needs to be done in this strike, he gets very frustrated and ends up leaving, which he does, and he did on this occasion. So it was just me and Violent Shooter 01 left to complete the mission. Now admittedly, we both died, I think it was once in this mission, and on this occasion I asked him to come and join me at the sweet spot here where we are standing, and to try and deal with the witches that way. So that's what we're doing. Now the subject matter I want to basically talk about, it is fair and safe to say that I am now categorized as a Destiny holic. You know, where I was playing it before, I really liked the game. It is a bit grindsome, for want of a better word, but it's what it is, and I totally accept that. But this video is more or less me letting Bungie know and letting fellow gamers know who are in the same position that I get it. I totally get what Bungie is trying to do with this game. Bungie are not trying to follow the model of other shooters that has preceded it. Even with Halo, you know, although some of the things are familiar to Halo, it's still a different game. And I have to say that whatever anybody wants to say about Destiny in terms of the repetition, the endless grinds, the flaws, which there are some flaws. Some flaws are regarded as more major than others. It just depends on the individual who encounters those flaws. But one thing I can definitely say about Destiny, hands down, without any hesitation or doubt in my mind, that Destiny has been one of the most cohesive social games I've ever played in the PS4 era. Now I know the PS4 era is just over a year old, but being a co-op player, mainly in principle, this game is right up my street. I did have some doubts about it before, where I was playing a lot of it and I got Destinied out, so to speak. But when you get into the game and you get social within the game, that's when the game holds its own. You know, that's when the game holds its own. Now, with other shooters like COD or Battlefield, I just find that with those shooters, it's it's a solo effort and it's a group effort. You know, there's nothing really in between. But with Destiny, they put that grey in between the black and white for simple facts and reasons. Now, with patrol missions, you can basically have a fire team made up of your friends. You can build a fire team based upon randoms that you meet, as with any other game. But with specific strike missions and stuff, where Bungie enforces no matchmaking, and that has been a divisive issue with the gamers for a little while now. But I totally get the reason why Bungie refused to put matchmaking in strike missions and the like, because it will be a situation where all of the Beast players will more or less take over the whole experience, and that's just being anti-social, because you don't want to buy a game and then just watch people just zip through the missions, not wait for you and have them kill everybody. For example, I had a Devil's Lair mission with the same violent shooter 01 that is playing with me, right? And this was a subsequent mission after this mission, and this dude didn't wait for us at all. He just zipped through the mission. Now I understand that, you know, some of the bounties involve like doing 25 strikes. I totally get that, and the need to just do them as expediently as possible. But going through it and forgetting about your teammates is the antithesis, for want of a better word, of what the game is trying to put out to people, by it being a more social experience, by it being a more team-based camaraderie experience, where you have to find people and engage with people and have them be your friends and be like-minded in the way you play shooters, because shooters are very selfish affairs, you know, because with a lot of people, they're more interested in their kill-death ratio. For me, that's not what it's about. For me, it's the whole team-based experience for me, you know. And with what Bungie has been trying to do with the game and continues to do with the game, I still have no issues, you know. I don't have any issues with the game, you know. People can talk about the matchmaking, they can talk about the repetition, but in essence, every single game we play is repetitive, because it involves the same tactics, you know, the same modes. But with Destiny, it's proven itself to be a different game, just a different game in terms of how people play it and how people meet up to play it. I haven't been playing Crucible for a while, but hooking up with my friends and getting on that, I totally understand why people play Crucible a lot, you know. And it's a variation, you know, it's another variation on the game. And there are very few games that gives me such an enjoyable, immersive experience like Destiny. Even though the game seems repetitive, but it gives me more options than any other shooter that I've played in the PS4 era, and dare I say the latter half of the PS3 era, I must say. So I totally get what Bungie and Activision are trying to do with Destiny. I just hope that, you know, people can kind of break through that wall of repetition and this and that and what have you, and see the game for what the game is, what it really is, and what it's trying to evolve as in a not too distant future. I don't think the game will die. simply because of the fact that the game works. You know, a constant thing that people say, like, I don't know why I play the game. I don't know why I still play the game. Even though I don't like it, I still keep coming back to it. That's the reason why the game is relatively successful, because you keep coming back to it even though you don't like playing the game, because the game simply works. And I know I've said that on other videos, but it's as simple as that. If you have a game that works, right? If you have a game that works, the repetitive nature of the game may be an issue with some people, but I think it's more of an issue with people that just want to just rack and stack and they show in PvPs and stuff like that. But for me, it is a totally it's a total co-op gamer's dream, for want of a better phrase. For me, it's right up my street, based upon the fact that I am more of a co-op gamer than anything else. PvP I would put second in my list of priorities. But with this game, is that I can jump into anything. I can jump into patrol, I can jump into strikes, I can jump into stories, help out lower level people, you know, and I feel a sense of reward by doing that. You know, some people don't feel that. They just want to just rank up as high as they possibly can, and they can't be asked or bothered with low level players. That's not being a sociable player to me anyway. You know, being sociable amongst your friends, that's one thing, but being sociable to the community, that's another thing. And for me, that is the main thing. So yeah, so right now there's two of us here. Just met the guy. His mic is not on, my mic is, and we're both being very instinctive of how each other plays. And because we succeeded in this mission, he is now, yeah man, big up Violent Shooter. You know, because of the success we've had, he's now my PSN friend, and I've invited him to join our fire team in future strike missions, and more importantly, the raid. I definitely want to get Violent Shooter in on a raid or two. So anyway, that is it for me. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, you know the coup, whatever the game, media, genre, format, happy gaming, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, because that's what it's truly about. If you're not happy gaming, then don't even bother to pick up your freaking controller. It don't make no sense. Anyway, is with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu, and until the next time, I'm going to leave you out with a little tail end of this, and Megan.